Hello there, following on from our recent video of the Raptor intercooler upgrade, we're going to show you this today. New product, fabricated airbox assembly for the Raptor V6. Just made the first development model, everything's looking good. Today we're going to talk you through removing the original airbox kit and fitting the new induction kit in its place. Kit comes with the fabricated airbox, two of our cone filter assemblies, two custom alloy link pipes, a full set of mounting hardware. So we're going to go ahead and show you how it's done. Okay, so to start with, removal of the original airbox, really straightforward stuff this. What you will find is that this little filler point here, this little filler neck for the washer bottle needs to be unbolted. You might want to unbolt that first of all. It does get in the way and there's a good likelihood you're going to break it, so let's get that out of the way right now. Okay, so that's all straightforward stuff. Two 10mm headed bolts, undo those, this just pulls out of the way. Next thing we're going to undo, two hose clips on here. The main inlet hoses to this turbo on the driver's side, this one goes across to the passenger side. Just two hose clips, really straightforward stuff. Flat blade screwdriver, undo those. Okay, so once they're loose, we look across the back of the top inlet pipe, there's a little sensor. You just give it a little twist anti-clockwise, give it a pull, that comes out, okay? Nice and easy. Then at the front of the airbox, you've got two plastic clips, one, two, undone, lift the lid up, pull it off the hoses, they should just come away. Take the lid off, take the air filter element out. Okay, so some of the kits that we've seen available for these do away with the lower half of the airbox, which kind of renders this part of the inlet trumpet a bit redundant, which we thought was a bit silly really. There's nothing wrong with this. It pulls in a good amount of cold air from outside, fills this lower half of the airbox with nice cool fresh air. Doing away with this, you're much more likely to bring in engine bay heat into your filters. Don't really see the point of that. We can do a much simpler version, get all of the benefits of an intake kit, but whilst retaining the cold air inlet. So that's staying. We'll leave that as it is. The only modification we're going to make to the lower half of the airbox, this plug that we undid from the top half of the airbox, there's two cable ties that clip into the back of the airbox onto these two little lugs here. Snip those off, pull those out. That will leave you with these two holes, and these become mounts for our new airbox upper section. Okay, last little bit of prep before we can fit the new upper section of the airbox is to utilise these holes at the back here, which we spoke about earlier. Now for this, what you want to do is take your longer M6 bolts that are supplied with the kit. There's two of them with some bigger washers, two large washers, two small ones. Put the larger ones on these bolts. And what we're going to do is we're going to pass these bolts up from underneath these tabs and secure them on the top with these threaded bosses. Now these act as a spacer for the new upper section. So bolt goes up from underneath with the washer on it. These bosses are threaded, so you just spin it down. It creates this fitment here. Same on the other one. Real straightforward stuff. That's them in place, and what we're going to do, we're going to just nip under there with a 10mm spanner and just do those bolts up. Don't need to over tighten them, it's only plastic, but again, nice straightforward stuff. The main part of it, the fabricated airbox. This has got all of the pre-made holes and stuff like that, all the threaded features that you need for mounting the pipes. So right now what I'm going to do is mount the pipes that you get with the kit, and I'll show you how it all goes together. Do this off the vehicle, it's far easier. The first pipe to go in is this larger diameter one, which has got a boss in it to pick up on that sensor that we took out of the old airbox. With the set of parts, you'll receive 6 of these little 8mm headed bolts and 6 washers to go with them. The idea being that you put that onto the airbox, fixings are already in there, the female part. And you attach these flanges of the pipes onto the side of the new air filter casing. 3 bolts in each. Really straightforward stuff. And I'll show you the orientation of the pipe so you get them in the correct configuration. So this is the rearmost one. The sensor boss is on the back of the pipe here, and you'll see when we put this in position how that sensor plugs into that port on the back there. Next pipe, this is the forward one. Now this one goes, sort of points down towards the sort of 5 o'clock position with the top of the airbox level. Same sort of deal really. Take the other 3 remaining 8mm headed bolts, these are M5s. Pop that on there. Screw it in. So that's how it will look on the side of your airbox. This one picks up off the passenger side, driver's side turbo. This one goes across to the main pipe that goes to the passenger side. We're just going to nip them up with an 8mm spanner. Don't need to over tighten them, only small threads, just nip them up, that's all you need. Right, that's those fixings tightened up. That's how it should look. This has been the front of the vehicle here, and that's how your pipe configuration should look. Let's go ahead and fit it to the vehicle. Okay, so with the rear mounting bolts in place, we're going to offer in the new upper section of the airbox. And what you'll find is there's 2 holes at the back here. We'll zoom in on this in a minute so you can see the bolt, the threads of those bolts are going to poke through these 2 holes. Okay, so with the standard hoses and using the standard hose clips, we're going to put this into position. Larger diameter one to the inlet there, driver side turbo on here. Push those hoses onto those pipes. Now the airbox upper section will just drop in to the standard lower half of the airbox. Just drops in at exactly the same way as the standard section. That goes in there. What we're going to do in a second, we're going to put some washers and nuts on those studs at the back to hold the back in place. The front utilises the standard clips that held the original lid. Clips on. We're just going to put some washers and nuts at the back there. That's that done. So washer on, M6 nuts, 10mm spanner on those just to nip them up. Again, don't need to over tighten them. That's that in place. Next thing we're going to do is secure the hoses onto the pipes. Get your screwdriver again. You'll do these up. Okay, so you've got your hoses in place. Just make sure that they're fully on. You can sort of feel where they are. Make sure they're on properly, and then you can pick up your screwdriver again. Do up your hose clips. Again, don't need to go mad on any of this. Just nip them up, top and bottom, all nice and straightforward. With those done, we're going to look at this wire that we took out of the original airbox lid with the sensor on it. Now this has got a little plastic tongue on the side of it, and on the back of our sensor block here there's a groove for that to locate in. This is to make sure that the sensor is in the correct orientation, because it needs to pick up the temperature of the air as it blows across the edge of the sensor. Okay, you might need a little squirt of WD-40 on that O-ring. Easy stuff, goes in the back there. Just wiggle it in, it sits in place. That's it, done. We're just going to put the new cone filters in and we're all wrapped up. Right, we're all set to put the filters in now. Everything's tightened up, everything's in place. Nice and straightforward, as you can see. So you've got your two filters here, 3-inch inlets. Literally, real straightforward stuff. Hose clip on there. What you'll have on the inside of the airbox is the two stubs from your new pipes. They push on. Up on there. Same deal with the one at the front. There they are. So we're going to get in there with a screwdriver and just nip up those hose clips. That's those in place. The installation is complete. The only thing to put back on the vehicle is the little filler neck for the washer bottle, which we'll put back in now. So in that goes, and as you can see, that sits in a nice handy position, sits in this cutout in the airbox, that sits back in the same place, doesn't get in the way of anything. So we're going to do all these bits and pieces up, and that's your installation complete.